over to this computer.
There we go.
Fabulous. And I'm going to turn myself off here.
Do I have to press? Oh, is that me or you?
No, that's her. That's
Hi, Gabriel. Hi,
Hey, how
Matthew.
you doing?
How are you?
Good. This is Matthew.
Yeah.
I'm Chris.
Chris.
Okay.
Chris also directed a film that's playing here.
Apophenia.
Yeah, I directed Apopheniacs. I'm here for moral support.
Yes.
Okay.
But also to talk, if it's cool, we can also mention his film. His film's
Yeah.
actually playing Fantastic Fest as well.
Perfect. Hi, Gabriel. Deep Cycle mixes giallo style with modern slasher brutality. How did you find the right balance between paying homage to Italian horror and keeping the film fresh?
That's a good question, man. That's all you.
What?
How'd you balance keeping it fresh?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I think keeping it fresh was just like what excites me. You know, when you're looking at the screen and what was exciting our cinematographer Andy. Like what was exciting us? Like we like our giallo films. We're not giallo fanatics we're not like hardcore giallo fans. We know what giallo is. We love giallo cinema. And it was kind of like, well, what would we like to see in a giallo film? How would we, translate that into something that we would want to see in a thriller? This film isn't like a crazy slash or anything like that. It more so falls into like a thriller. So it was trying to introduce some of the highlights of a giallo film into what we were making and what was like exciting to us. Close-ups of the black leather, like a little bit of the stereotypes that giallos do fall into. It's not satire in any way. It still plays itself serious. So that's what kind of kept it interesting. A lot more style, like kind of like the rule of cool, right?
Hi, Matthew. Your character is both an ally and a possible threat. How did you approach creating that ambiguity on screen?
Oh man, that's Gabe directed me the whole time. So if it was bad, Gabe just told me to do it again. So I don't know if that's a great answer.
Well, Matt's also a filmmaker too, right? So he'll question me on things, or like, hey dude, like am I down? I'm like, hey, you're doing fine, and he'll get caught up in his own head, and I'll let him kind of like figure it out himself too, you know what I mean? Because if I'm throwing stuff at him, I know how Matt thinks. I think that's another thing to do as a director is like, how does your cast think about things? Not necessarily about acting and stuff, but like just about anything in general. And then if you figure out how they think as people, then you can kind of approach things a lot easier their way.
Gabriel, you also edited the film yourself. Did wearing both hats as director and editor change the way you shaped the pacing and suspense?
Say that again.
Sorry, you also edited the film yourself.
Yep.
Did wearing both hats as director and editor change the way you shape the pacing and suspense of this movie?
Just wondering how you shaped it all.
We had a night, like we shot pretty with what like the script wanted, but then when we got into post, like in all editing things, you start moving around scenes. And I noticed that like the beginning of the movie that was in the script originally wasn't the strongest. And that's where something kind of happened in post where I won't spoil anything, but I did shuffle things around, which affected the story completely narratively. I kind of spilled the beans out at first. And it works. So things like that they're kind of like happy accidents. When you're editing your film yourself, you kind of just, and you're not really on a timeline, you can kind of just move things around and shuffle things around. And the film does kind of work on like, I wouldn't say flashbacks, but it's a story that you can kind of move around and shuffle around, and it doesn't really interfere with like the flow of the plot, or like you're not really going to get any plot holes with that.
Matthew, you are also producer on this project. Did having that dual responsibility influence the way you performed your role?
Oh my gosh, yes. I had to keep Gabe in check all the time. We had a budget, we had things that we had to do, we had time schedules. So it was very interesting. Gabe would tell me as an actor things that had to be done, but then I could jump in as a producer and then tell him how things would have to be done. No, it was fun. Like we were a group of guys hanging out. It reminded me of why I wanted to do cinema. We really stripped it down, and it was just a lot of fun filming this project and reminding ourselves, what goes into a movie, what can you take out of the process to get closer to making something that we're passionate about, and not getting caught up in all the producing, and more so just get consumed with creating. So I don't know if I answered your question, but no, Gabe was the lead, and and I had a blast just directing and producing. Really, I just filled holes that needed to be filled. So.
Gabriel, the opening of the film is so atmospheric, with a motorcycle in the night and neon lit dread. How carefully did you craft that initial mood?
Oh, how did you craft that mood?
Yeah.
That's a good Andy question. I feel like Andy should be here for
There's
that.
a lot of smoke in that, right?
Yeah, there is a lot of smoke. I don't know.
Well, in the opening scenes, that was one of my jobs as a producer, to run around with a smoke machine.
Yeah.
Like a little flamethrower that does stuff. And yeah, Andy did a great job writing it. It was a lot of fun. And we didn't have permission to close down that road. So
no.
We were getting in trouble with traffic, but we were quick and got it done. And
yeah, Andy had like little LED neon lights he'd strap to the motorcycle and certain things to help light it, but it was very like cognito. Like we had to do a lot of things under the radar and just kind of cross our fingers and hope that, you know, it did create that atmosphere and tension.
Matthew, much of the story revolves around grief and mistrust. What for you does the real monster in the film represent?
Sorry, one more time?
Sorry. Much of the story revolves around grief and mistrust. What for you does the real monster in this film represent?
Oh, like a real monster in real life, or?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, real monster. Jeez, paying taxes is the real monster for me. But I think this was actually a really fun experience for me, because before this, every monster that I've actually played is covered in prosthetics. Yeah. So this is the first time being out of the suit, be able to act, and it's a lot different, because one thing in a monster suit is you have to overact. It's actually really hard going from creature effects, because everything's so much bigger, and then actually having to tone it down on screen. So that was actually one of the hardest things for me, is just reminding myself to not overact, because I didn't have any prosthetics on. So
it's always better though for an actor to overreact, because what I found, it's always easier for them to like tone them down if they're acting big than versus like if they're really low, trying to get them to go bigger. I find my personal challenge is to figure a spot where them to go a little bit bigger. So you know, it's like theater. Like theater actors are apparently really good with film, because you're able to bring them down, I think.
So I came off acting on Deathstalker, which I played 4 creatures on that, which they're all very big and just boyish and just crazy. And then this is a very subdued, introspective character. So it was actually a lot of fun to get into that.
Gabriel, many slashers leans on cliché, but Death Cycle feel psychologically ambiguous. Was breaking away from formula part of your creative intention?
No. It's just like I feel like I don't think about those things at all. It's almost like you're just acting in the moment and trying to think what's cool. Like, what do I like? What's cool, you know? And if it's cliched, it's cliched. If it's not, it's not, you know? And I know Andy and Matt would call me out on things like, oh, dude, I don't know if you should do that. And I would argue with them for a bit about, you know, cliches and stuff like that. But then
Gabe's very much like a dog with a bone. If something gets his attention, he won't let go of it. And
you really got to pull.
But at the same time, he's not following trends. He's just following what excites him. I think that's what makes what Gabe creates very interesting, is that you can't tell him otherwise. He's making a movie that he likes, a movie that he wants to watch, and you can't really tell him otherwise. And
also, like festivals, like I feel like we made this movie more for like a specific audience. You know what I mean? Like it is fun going on the festival scene with it. The festival audiences, I hope, like it. I'm part of the audience too, and it's just like an audience, just regular person making a movie, and it's just like, what would I kind of like dig if I saw at a festival, you know, with like the logo and the font and like the cool like little music thing to it and whatever. So it's just kind of like ringing those bells, you know.
Matthew, how was your collaboration with Kristen Kaster in building the fragile and tense dynamic that anchors the film?
Yeah, working with Kristen Kaster, she's a fantastic actress. She's phenomenal. Working with her is great. She's a great actor because she really levels you up, and it was just awesome. I've only previously directed her in another film, so being able to act with her was a very different power dynamic, because before I got to tell her what to do, and other times in these situations where we're equals, I'm like, okay. But she's great, and she really embodies that character. And the thing I love about Kristen is she's one of the guys in the sense that, like, she doesn't need a stunt person to do her work. She will get in there. She will do all the whether it's punching, kicking, or anything. She's a legit fighter, and she goes to war in any film that she's in. And yeah, and she was a great cast for this. So.
Gabriel, the film runs 80 minutes.
Yep.
Was brevity a deliberate artistic choice? Sorry, and how do you feel it serves the story?
Oh. Think you cut out there for a second. One more time.
Yeah, sorry. The film runs 80 minutes.
80 minutes.
Was the brevity of a deliberate artistic choice, and how do you feel it serves the story?
You know, it was a short script. We had moments. So like the script originally didn't have the kill scenes written in the script. Like, so when you read the script, it was like, slasher, like killer shows up and then kills the person, and it cuts back to like the dialogue scene.
It was really interesting because I kept on fighting with Gabe. I'm like,
where are the kills? So
like, oh, we're gonna figure that
that's
out.
the thing, because we were working on a very tight budget. I had to talk to the FX people, locked in the cellar, who did amazing. They, I said, can you just make some kill scenes within this budget that kind of like a cool? That's basically it. With what he's
underselling it. He basically went to the special effects people and was like, what could you do in this stuff? And they dreamt together.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Instead of coming to them and saying, hey, this is what I want, they're like, what could you do, and what can we do in this budget with these characters? So it was almost a backwards approach to what you
But for timing wise, though, like we had to stretch it out. So like Katarina, I don't want to spill anything, but so one of the scenes in the film, someone dies, and we knew kind of while we were filming,
I feel like it's
how the
dirt. I feel like it's Katarina.
Kristen. We knew the duration, so we knew while we were filming what we had to do on set. Like, how can we draw this out? Like, were we going Halloween? Are we going Michael Myers? And get like the stalking pride to the house. You know what I mean? Just like things like that. So we knew when we were filming these scenes, we had to kind of. We didn't actually. It was kind of like a mystery, to be honest, because they weren't written in the script, so we didn't have like kind of like a beat or a time. So it was a risk. We did fall a little short. I feel like it could have been a little longer, the film, but we also did cut a lot of dialogue out. But yeah, I feel like the most challenging part for timing wise was filming the kill scenes, because we didn't know how long to stretch them out for, essentially.
Matthew, compared to the past genre roles that you have done, this one seems more internal and psychological. What was a new challenge for you as an actor?
I kind of talked about this before. One of the things is I didn't know what giallo was before we started the film. So when Gabe said we're doing a giallo film, I actually asked him to repeat the conversation like 5 times.
He thought it was Jello.
I'm like, what are you talking about? And so I ended up at his house, and we did a giallo marathon where I watched movie after movie after movie, and Gabe jumping up and explaining what this means and what this is, and just being educated on the whole thing. So that was intense. I went to film school 101 in Gabe's house, and but again, going from monster work, creature work to not being able to hide behind a mask is always that was a big thing for me, because I spent so many years getting bigger with my emotions, and yeah, we've already talked about this, but that was the biggest thing. So
Gabriel, the trailer has been described as gasoline-soaked horror. How do you interpret that phrase, and does it capture what you aimed for?
Gasoline soaked, what was it? Horror. Yeah, like there's two kill scenes in the movie that I could say that it's like gasoline soaked horror, but you know, it's I'd say the word like gasoline, the film itself, like I think it's almost just like a metaphor, like for the guys that went and made this movie. You know, we were all parts of literally a motorcycle is a very simple machine. You know, it's an engine and gas and some brakes and some throttle. Like, it's not that crazy. And a few of us, we all have our motorcycle licenses, so we just kind of like we're the motorcycle making this film. So that phrase has a little deeper meaning too, I think, for what we went out to do. You know, like we were the horror on the gas, like we were the gasoline driving this movie forward. You know, so I think it follows that. But like literal wise, like I think there are two scenes. It's not like a crazy over the top. That's the thing. Like, it's not some crazy over the top film, and that's why it's very important. Like, we reference like giallo, and I think as soon as we throw that word giallo in, people will know what they're getting into.
FrightFest audience are known for their energy and passion. How do you feel bringing Death Cycle to the specific festival crowd?
Exciting and nervous, because this guy's film here, his world premiere was awesome. In the audience, I mean, that's a great example. Like his world premiere, the audience went nuts over it at FrightFest, like absolutely ballistic over the ending.
We were part of the audience.
Yeah, we were in the audience for his film, and it was crazy hearing the audience react to his film. What's the title again?
Apopheniacs.
No, Apopheniacs. Really good movie. Yeah. But yeah, the audience reacted so well to it. So I don't think we're gonna get that crazy enough reaction.
I will be in the audience. Oh yeah!
Oh my. But yeah, like it's a really good crowd. So it was really awesome to hear, like sitting on other films. Hearing the audience love them at FrightFest. You're like, man, this audience is so cool. Like they're so awesome.
Is definitely a cool festival.
Yeah, it's a great crowd, great audience.
Gabriel, working with Dave McLeod on the script and the wider production team, what did that collaboration bring to the final film?
What did the collaboration bring to the final film? Yeah. Dave and I have been working on stuff for years, and we've had stuff tied up with studios for like 2 years. Like that guy's written so many scripts, and finally was like, Dave, this is what we have. We have motorcycles, we have motorcycles coming out of Wazoo. We have access. We have this. We have this. We have this. It's like, let's create a film. It's like just excites us that we can go shoot in our city and just do ourselves. Like keep it lo-fi and just get something going out there to keep that filmmaking bug going, right? So that's kind of what led to Death Cycle. It's a great collaboration with Dave. He's very easy to, like, while we were shooting, we had to change some stuff in the script. So he was always kind of on hand to kind of like, we send him an email or call him, like, Dave, like, we got to change this because we filmed this not the way. He gets upset. He's like, why did you shoot it that way? Or whatever. And like, no, I'm just joking. He doesn't like that. But he was super cool to work with. Like just little mini rewrites here and there. Like he's very adaptable too to work with.
And he didn't just write it. He like the house that we shot.
Yeah, he helped produce it too. So some of the locations on the film, Dave pitched in as well.
When you think of audience reaction at FrightFest, what kind of moment or scene are you curious to see them respond to?
The scene that I'm most excited is at the end. That's
the end.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I'm not.
Oh, don't spoil it. Yeah. There's a few scenes that, like, this is the thing. Like, I feel like sometimes audiences expect like huge twists, and like our film doesn't have huge twists. It's very much of like, this is the story. This is what happened. Just this is from one or two perspectives of how it happened. Now there's some kill scenes. I'm really excited to see how they're going to react to some of these kill scenes because I know what we had to use to film them, and I'm just like curious to see how that's going to play off. Just even for future reference for future films. And just even the sound too. Some of the sound design. I'm curious to see how that's going to play off in the theater because we haven't had a theater screening of this yet. So I'll just start 20-year-old computer speakers.
And my last question, do you see Death Cycle as a container story, or could its themes or even its killer expand into something larger?
Gabe always talks about how there's
I want to make Death Cycle too.
Yeah.
I know, like, honestly, I love this movie because we held back from a lot of stuff that, like, I feel like it could have been. Like, we could have went crazy, but budget-wise, we couldn't. Like, I wanted a motorcycle, doing a wheelie, going into someone's chest, reverse, and, like, spinning the wheel into someone's chest, and, like, the cavity of blood and the rear tile and the blood going down. But we didn't have the budget for that, right? We didn't have, like, a bike that we could, like, kind of do that with, like, strip a bike down. So, like, the sequel, I want to throw a twist, and then, I want to kind of go... Like I want to have fun with it. I think the sequel, if there ever is, I don't think there ever will be, but
there will be.
Great answer. Great answer.
I believe it.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.